Welcome back, you're watching Overdrive, and as always, it's time for Autoselector, and that means Bertrand Dsouza, editor of Overdrive magazine, joins us on the show from wherever he is in the world. Hi Bert, welcome back to Overdrive. Our first question for you this week comes in from Assam. Saurav Padgiri writes in saying he's interested in buying the Toyota Corolla Altis diesel, but he saw pictures of the new Toyota Auris being launched at the Paris Motor Show. He wants to know if there's any chance of a new Corolla Altis coming to India anytime soon. The Auris, of course, is the hatchback version of the Altis internationally, and does that mean it would form the basis of a new Corolla Altis? Should he go in for the Altis now? Should he just wait for the new one? And also, what are the other options he has with a diesel engine in that segment?
Yes, the Corolla Altis and the Toyota Auris, well, they both share the same platform. They're essentially the same car, but the Auris is the hatchback version that is sold in Europe and North America. The Corolla Altis is what we get in the ASEAN markets. Now, there will be a new Corolla coming out in the future, but at least not for another year and a half, probably two at the most. Until then, well, if you're ready to wait that long, well, you can. Otherwise, I'd suggest you go in for the Corolla Altis at the moment. It's a fantastic car, both with petrol and diesel options, and a fairly comfortable car in that segment as well. Of course, two things going for it are fantastic resale value and longevity. It's a car that's built to last.
All right, Bert, up next is a question from Charlie John. He currently owns a Maruti Ritz and was wondering if he could increase the ground clearance by putting 15-inch wheels on the car. Is it feasible? Would it have any adverse effects on his ride and handling? What are the plus and minus points of going ahead with that plan?
Well, ideally, we wouldn't advise you to upsize the tires and the wheels, principally because you'll have to be very careful with the kind of rubber you use on that car. Otherwise, it could foul up with the insides of the wheel arches. So if you go in for the 15-inch wheel, then you will have to go in for a tire with a slightly lower profile. That means you will affect ride quality, though you may get better handling at the end of the day. Of course, we would advise you not to mess with the 14-inch wheels and stick to them. Those are the ones that will give you the best efficiency, performance, and of course ride quality as well.
And wrapping up Autoselector for this week is a question from Bangalore. Abhijit writes in saying he's planning to book the new fluidic Verna, the 1.6-litre diesel variant, and he's heard from a lot of people that its handling and suspension isn't quite up to the mark. Is that really that much of a problem? Has that been sorted out, or does it still exist on the car? Should he reconsider his decision and look for other alternatives in the segment?
Well, yes, what you've heard is right. The Verna does have an issue with its handling and, of course, ride quality as well. Now, on the handling front, that's also because of the oversensitized steering. The electronic assistance, well, it's a bit too much. It makes the steering very light, so you don't get the right amount of feedback, and, of course, makes it very light. Even at expressway speeds over 100 kilometers an hour, that steering just feels too light, and you need a bit more weight in it to give you that sense of confidence and, of course, safety. The ride comfort, on the other hand, well, the rear suspension, if you load the car with more than two people, the rear suspension does bottom out. There's not much travel in the suspension, the shock absorbers. That does affect handling and, of course, the ride quality. It makes it a bit stiff, makes it a little bouncy at times, and, of course, you will bottom out if you hit a bump or a pothole.
That brings us to the end of this week's Autoselector. Remember, you can also send in your questions for Bert and the entire Overdrive team. Simply send us an email or tweet us with your questions.